Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's Straight to the Apex, the Formula One podcast. Let me ask you something. Do you love Formula One? Do you love quizzes? Do you love special guests? Controversy? Races? British Grand Prix? If you love any of those things, or all of those things, you are in the right place. Like I say, the boys have got a special guest this week. Getting in early with a special guest. Love it. So, before we get into the bumper edition of Straight to the Apex, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Drop any reviews you might want to. And let's get this podcast out in the world. Right, let's get going because this is a big one. So here we go. This is CookieCast. Straight to the Apex.
This meeting is being recorded.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Straight to the Apex podcast. A special one this week. Joined by Mark,
Hello.
James, and
Hello.
my brother from the same mother, Adam. How are you all doing, guys? Are you all good?
Yeah.
Good. I'm feeling for Adam because he's probably cringing right now with that little intro you did there. Like, yo, yo, yo.
Yeah. He's never like that at home, guys.
The truth's coming out now.
I knew he was a Neil
on,
Diamond fan.
Let's move on. Let's all just move on. Anyway, this is episode 11, race number 10, at Lenovo British GP at Silverstone. What a race weekend. Just, I would say probably the best race this season. Am I biased? Yes. But am I also correct? Yes. So that's just fact, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hell of a race. Just summarise in a few words, guys. What did you think this weekend as a whole?
Awesome.
Wow.
Was it the best? Is it the best race?
Best one of the year so far, yeah. Best one of the season so far.
Definitely. Yeah.
Everything
Definitely.
happened. It was just, wow. There's no other way.
We're
There's so much, not just the race, even just the weekend alone. There's loads to talk about here.
only spoiled by 5 protesters sitting in the middle of the straight, which like absolute plebs.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Anyway, practice is practice. Practice came and went. Yeah, whatever. Less said about that, probably the better. Qualifying, pretty standard, really. It rained, which caused a bit of
He did this last time.
thing.
He did this last time. It rained. Oh, it was pretty standard. Did you not?
Pretty standard. That practice, we finally saw the full potential of the goat that is Latifi on fire. He got all the way to Q3, proved his worth, really proved why he deserves a seat in the Williams.
I mean, you can't argue with that, can you? Can't argue with it. He's the man. In the not upgraded car, the basic car, the old car, and he still made it to Q3 more than Alvin.
He's quickly becoming my favourite driver.
Yes, the same.
It's just it's just such a chad. It's just can't.
Is it what?
A chad.
A Chad. All right.
Chad.
I thought you meant a chav. I thought, is he?
No, CHAD. Chad. Just muscular. He can do everything, and drive and race, and he just with his fucking chinseled face. He's just out and out one of the out and out race car driver. And this weekend proved it, guys. I mean, yeah, he did qualify.
Is he a member of Williams sat there with a gun at your head there, Tony? Just yes. Are you in danger?
I mean, well, just for him, I'm all in blue, guys. Look, I'm all. You've got a member as well, James. I see. Anyway, let's move on from that awkward silence. So yeah, pretty much all came down to the very last bit of qualifying. A bit of a shootout. Sainz got first, Max second, Leclerc third, Perez fourth, Ham fifth, Norris sixth, Alonso seventh, Russell eighth, Zhao. Did I say that right?
Sure.
Yeah. Zhou Guan Yu.
Zhou Guan Yu. Don't worry. By the end of this podcast, we'll fucking get his name right. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, when he's retired.
Yeah.
And Latifi 10th. So yeah, that was it. Okay, let's move on to the fucking race.
Whoa. Is that we're not mentioning qualifying any of it then? You know, Sainz said he had a terrible lap and he got pole.
I made a note of his reaction. I made notes that the Mercedes was looking really good.
Yeah.
I thought both Mercedes looked really good, and you know, if what happened in the race hadn't have happened, we might have seen a bit more from Russell as well. Sainz was struggling in Q2 at one point. It wasn't looking good for him. But then obviously, you know, he got there. But his reaction was awesome. It was just like, oh, Sainz, you've got points. I was like, no way. I was like, really?
That was a terrible lap.
Oh. He's just like, no way. I thought I was terrible.
It was in shock.
Maybe you were, but everybody else was just that little bit where.
Well, I mean, Max in Q1 and Q2 was absolutely miles ahead, wasn't he? Absolutely miles ahead.
Oh, he was
comfortable. But because the rain, I mean, Tony did this last time it rained in qualifying, said it was a standard qualifying. Because it rained, it just mixed it up and then it stopped raining. And then, like I say, it's all that, you know, you last on the track, you go faster. And Max just nailed it and then didn't in Q3. And Sainz, like you say, with a terrible lap, was pole.
Only other thing I've got on Max from qualifying was, and anyone who knows me on this podcast is probably going to look outside a window for a flying pig in a second, but just how good his recovery was with that spin.
Yeah.
He did like a 700, it must have been a 720 degree spin. He spun round twice.
Yeah.
But when it stopped spinning, it was straight back online and he just kept on going like nothing happened. It was just really casual, but yeah, really good recovery.
That lap was still quicker than a hell of a lot of cars, wasn't it? Even though he span.
Yeah.
Still a 150 something.
Yeah, which is absolutely, like I say, Max, to be fair, he was class right up until Q3. And then obviously it went a bit wrong for him. Hamilton blamed some tape falling off his brake or something, didn't he? For not being able to go any faster. I'm sure that's what they said after qualifying. Something fell off his brakes and they wasn't working properly.
I don't know. Didn't you?
Yeah. So, but I mean, you know, he started fifth, which, considering the season Max had, that's pretty good.
To me, I don't know, maybe Toto was right when he said, you know, Silverstone is when we'll have it all fixed. They looked real. I mean, at one point, I think it was in Q2, Hamilton did a lap and it was only 200 slower than Max. That's nothing.
No.
It's nothing that at all. And I didn't hear anything about porpoising or anything on there, so.
Yeah, it was nice.
Quiet
porpoising.
What do you think, Adam?
I don't know. I just don't know whether the weather made it look closer than it actually was. Although that was Saturday. On Sunday, we found out a bit different. We found out a bit more, didn't we, about the Max? I went in Saturday. They finished. Where did they finish? Russell was 7th, 8th, and Hamilton was 5th. And I just thought, same. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4 Ferrari, Red Bulls, with a bit of Norris in the middle. It's the usual recipe, isn't it? And then everything changed on my perception of what Merck actually are doing on Sunday. But from Saturday's pace, I think the weather made it so much more even for the whole thing. Like you said, only started getting dry end of Q3.
Yeah.
It was interesting. It was really interesting, and like you say, we're so bloody shocked to get pole position signs that he almost said he having a joke with me, sort of thing. It was crap lap.
I'll have to find it. It's a really good page on Instagram. It does like a 3D model, and it's the top two. Go around like a 3D track, and it shows they're both like shows their lines, and it shows who's like in front, and then who pulls ahead, and like who fucks up a corner, and different lines around the corners. I'll have to find out who that is and tag them next time on the podcast. But when you watch it, it's so interesting because Max is leading that whole last quali lap all the way basically, and it's like the last section where Sainz, and the last few corners where Sainz literally just pulls it, glides through it and ahead of him, and literally just pips him. But Max was almost like the quickest throughout the whole lap. So.
Well, you see it all the time, don't you? They say, you've got two different cars made by hundreds of men and women that are different, two different drivers, and all that separated them on that day at that time was 0.072 of a second.
Yeah.
It's you just can't comprehend that, can you, at all?
Yeah, it's now in it.
No.
I honestly didn't think Sainz was going to get it. I knew it was close, but I even said to Charlie when we was watching it, I said, the only thing is, when Sainz isn't great at coming in, going through the exit of a turn. He always seems to just get that marginally wrong, whereas Max just storms it. But yeah.
I think this weekend we saw completely different signs to one I've ever seen before. More so in the race.
Hold it.
I know you'll want me to. Yeah.
Hold it, because we're going to come on to that as a bit of a discussion later on. Obviously, in the race.
Okay. That's all I've got for quali.
Any more on quali?
Yeah. No.
Other than the fact that Latifi managed to be 40 seconds slower in Q4 than Q3 than anyone else, so I think he just gave up at the end and was like, 10th, that'll do.
He was maybe too busy celebrating all the way around.
I think he was.
I haven't crashed.
It's raining. I haven't crashed. And I'm 10th.
What do I do?
Yeah, what do I do? Where do I go?
Box.
I've got out my car by now. What do I do?
Well, you say that. He didn't actually come out until 4 minutes left in the final session. As if he just couldn't be bothered.
He'd probably already got out after Q1 and right, no, come back.
You got to do
what
more.
A guy. I'm such a fucking good driver that I only need to come out right at the end and just fuck everybody up. Anyway, should we get to the race?
Let's go. Yeah.
Hi.
So the crowd was in force. Shit. I think it was like over 100,000 people, which is a record. Hamilton nailed the start. Absolutely nailed the start. And I'm going to go... As I was watching it on TV, I literally watching it. Hamilton nails the start, so I'm like, "Fucking yes, here we go."
Then
Max gains the lead. They come around the first corner. Max has got the lead. Coming around the second corner, and then I'm looking in the background to see if everybody's got through, and I saw an Alpha on its roof flying across the back of the screen, and I was like, "Oh my god, what the fuck is going on?" And it was just smoke. And then there was a yellow flag, then there was a red flag, and then it all cut back to it. And I was like, fucking hell, what's going off here?
It was stupid, wasn't it? Because I saw Russell going off, and I saw another car skidding behind it and sparks flying. So something wasn't right. And yeah, then like you just said, yellow flag came up, and I'm sat there, I'm like, mate, at least two cars have gone off, and then you see another two cars come off, and you're like, this isn't a yellow flag. It can't be a yellow flag. And then when you hear the commentators going, there was a car upside down there, I'm like, that's got to be red. Surely.
It's a red flag.
And then no replays or anything.
Nothing. And that's I thought that point, he's dead.
I thought he's dead. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I just thought he's fucking dead.
I was honestly sitting there thinking someone's just died here.
Yeah, because they didn't show the area. They didn't show anything. They literally panned straight away from it, which I know they have. After the Grosjean crash, they've kind of said, haven't they? They won't show replays until they know he's all right. But the fact that the camera was so far away from even Russell and Albon's crash, and you thought something's gone on. And then, like you say, because I rewound it about 3 or 4 times to see Joe's car go through the back, and I was thinking, that's not the right way. And then the fact that it didn't show it hitting the barrier, I thought something's happened here because it was going at a pace, wasn't it? But
I just it was upside down, and I just thought there's a halo and then his head. So he must have been decapitated, something like that. He must be fucking dead. Because they're not showing anything. They weren't showing nothing.
The only thing we really saw at first was Russell get out of the car and start running towards the barriers.
Yeah.
And then we found out he was helping Ocon out. He was helping Ocon get out of his car. And then he goes back. Obviously, Russell goes back to his, and that's when the whole kind of, should he have got out of the car? Should he have the car thing?
Just to go over it, it's all come from Latifi at the end of the day, hasn't it?
I agree. I said it as a joke. I said, but technically, it's Latifi's fault.
It's Latifi's fault.
Was it?
So you had.
He nailed the start and got the gap. He went through the gap of the pole.
Latifi, he made move of the day for me. That was straight through the middle.
And tried to follow him. So Gasly tried to follow Latifi. Russell saw Latifi come through on his left and thought, fucking hell, Latifi's just fucking passed me on the fucking start. What the fuck?
Gasly's at fault.
Saw Gasly come in and thought, fuck this. And he did, he drifted, and he knew it was his fault, but he owned up to it, so that's all right. Drifted left, and with that, Gasly's hit his back left.
He took both, didn't he?
Russell's gone left, straight into Zhao, or Zhou, or whatever his name is, and he's just gone.
Zhou flipped.
Just fucking flipped. Fucking flipped.
And then from the back of that, you had Vettel behind them all.
Albon shit himself and gone, hit the brake.
Albon had to brake, which then meant that Vettel went into the back of him. Albon spun and hit the concrete wall, and
we're pretty hard.
Who was the other? That's when Yuki Tsunoda got hit as well, wasn't it?
And Ocon as well, Yuki.
Yeah.
It was carnage.
They were talking about Albon more, that he was serious, and out of the two of them, he was the one that actually got stretchered to hospital, and Guan Zhou Yu didn't, did he? He just went to the medical centre. So, I hadn't seen the forces. I'm guessing he hit the wall pretty hard, the concrete wall.
Yeah. Well, it was backwards, went forward, then hit the fucking wall, then hit another car, hit another car. He was fucking completely disorientated. I think, I don't know how that.
But how
it's scary where the car ended up, where Joe's car ended up, in between the barriers and in between the tires. If that car had set on fire, it would have been fucked.
Yeah. Well, if they didn't have that catch fence there, it literally did as what it's called. It caught the car, didn't it? Yeah, if they didn't have that catch fence there, that was in the stand. But when I saw the pictures afterwards of Joe's car and his little head was and you could see where the it ended up, everything's worked and caught him. But why did the car suddenly spin up and clear all them tires? It was like a long jumper, wasn't it? It just hit, and it just went straight over the tires and hit that catch fence.
I think it was just unfortunate that the halo dug in.
Of it.
Yeah. From the crowd in the stand and everything, we've seen them where it's coming at them. But wow,
unfortunate.
Lucky though. I didn't want the halo. Didn't want it at all, and we've said this on previous shows, haven't we?
Yeah.
I'm glad we've got it now because there was the F2 crash where we launched over the sausage curb, That would have been
horrific.
I thought it'd been awful.
Yeah, he just basically nearly got decapitated by a full F1 car. If it wasn't for the Halo.
Definitely.
So really, I think the Halo's again proved itself and how strong it is, and it's
done its job this weekend twice.
Yeah, massively.
I mean, I was watching a video on Sky Sports F1 on YouTube earlier on today, and the impact of Joe's cars took like an inch of tarmac.
So
great, like a trench of an inch. That's how hard it's hit it. Like fucking hell.
The roll hoop collapsed, didn't it? And so it was on. Basically, if the Halo wasn't there, the hoop had gone. So that would have been scraping against his head. Yeah.
So I was just before I came home tonight. I was talking to someone who'd been at Silverstone for the whole weekend, and he said that after the race, obviously at Silverstone, they all go onto the track. They get to watch the podium and whatnot, and that's on the pit straight. Sorry, it's not on the pit straight. It's on the grid, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then after that, they all went over to the crash site, and there was all trying to get in there and get little bits of alpha car and stuff like that. But Andy even said, on the track, there was a massive gouge through the track where he just scrapes it all. Yeah.
God. Yeah.
Crazy. Did they do that at your when you went, James? Did everyone just fucking obviously go on the track, and then did they just go full on like fucking start ripping everything off and taking it? Because I know a guy who's got half a Rolex standing back in his house.
Really? Oh, I didn't know about that.
Like,
I know they generally go onto the track and they start picking up, marbles and stuff like that.
He
I didn't know about ripping bits of signs off.
Yeah, he ripped like half a Rolex sign off and took it off.
I suppose if it's from a crash damage, then yeah, maybe, but I don't know though. There weren't many crashes really the two times I've been. Last time I went, I remember Verstappen spinning. Not Verstappen, Vettel spinning just after the slow turn, but there was no major crashes or anything.
One of the marshals has got a sensor from the Alpha that's worth $2,000. But who's going to buy it? Who's going to buy it? How is that been?
He's not going to ring Alpha back up, is he? So, do you want your sensor back, mate?
I've robbed your sensor.
Yeah. But what a story. Hey, what's that on your mantelpiece? Well, you know that crash from Joe Guanyu at Silverstone? That's the sensor that come out of his car as he barrel rolled across the tyres. Yeah.
On the topic of marshals, though, I think it was good that they had a marshal presenting one of the trophies on the podium as well.
Yeah.
They don't get enough recognition, if you ask me. I mean, them guys are never stood in a great spot. Yes, they're there. They've got to do a job. Sometimes they might be stood there, not really having to do much, or they're just waving the odd flag and stuff like that. But they're the guys that are running out on the track when there's other cars. Granted, they're going slower than they generally would, but it's still bloody fast. And picking up all the crap and stuff like that, or stood where this guy was, and having a car flying at him. God knows what kind of shit.
Don't get paid for it.
They've got a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Like, would you stick out a flag, like a blue flag, and fucking they do a lot that we probably don't really know.
I do it every time Max was going by. Blue.
I'll give him the black flag. Yeah, black flag. Yeah. Him and Lance
Max got black flagged on the first turn.
Red flag.
Only joking.
Red flag. Yeah, I could do that. Well, it was entertaining start on it.
Yeah.
Even a bit scary.
So,
go on, James.
I was just going to say on the back of that, because Christ, we've been talking for about 20 minutes now, and we're still talking about the first lap, and it wasn't even the first lap. Did anybody else quite understand that first when the officials turned around and said, right, when you restart, you're going back in your original grid?
No.
But did anybody?
No, they didn't on Sky.
Anybody knew?
No. When they explained it made more sense.
Yeah, didn't they say that they couldn't get a definitive? They couldn't get a definitive order, but surely when it was red flagged, because Leclerc was moaning about Hamilton jumping in when it was red flagged, but it was all you have to do is look at the TV replays and you can see the order. So again, yeah, I don't get that, but I'm not that bothered because obviously Max went ahead and it actually went against Red Bull for a change. So, oh well.
I agree with the decision, to be honest. I do agree because there's a racing incident at the first corner and it's serious. So it's involved like 5-6 cars. So.
Oh no, I agree. I think it makes perfect sense.
Unfortunately, go on.
No, go on, buddy.
Unfortunately, Lewis was in front of all this when it happened, and he happened to pass somebody. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah. Maybe it's the back of the grid that was the confusion more than the beginning. Like when you look back, that's probably where they couldn't sort it out. So when you look at it like that, it's probably the right thing to do, wasn't it?
I got it because it was like, well, you never completed a lap, you never really completed the first section and stuff like that. Made perfect sense. The thing I made a note of straight away, and I really wanted to pay attention to during the rest of the race was Max. Because Max, if I remember right, he started on soft. And when that red flag went in and he went onto hard.
Mediums.
Or mediums. Either or. Anyway, and the commentators were like, oh, well, that's perfect because now he doesn't. Yes, he will have to stop again, but he doesn't have to change his compound. And I was sat there thinking, well, if you haven't completed a lap, then you haven't completed a lap in that compound. So I really I feel like I need to just keep an eye out and just see what tyres he goes on, because surely that rule applies all the time. So I know you've got to do at least one lap in that compound. Well, we found that out with
Albon.
It was the first race with Albon in the first race, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Went in on like
full
lap
race,
2, came back out, and that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's what got Max a great start because, I think Sainz was on mediums and Max was on soft. And then when they all come in and went back onto mediums, it was pretty much a standard start, wasn't it? The restart. Yeah. Everyone kept position and there wasn't much change.
Well, yeah, I've got it. Sainz led, defended off Max, squeezed him out, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And then Leclerc sent it down the inside on Perez and hit a sausage curb. And that caused the damage to the front wing of Perez, which meant he had to pit, which was an early chapter in this long story. Lando versus Lewis as well, side by side, racing. Absolutely, fucking hell, absolute quality. But unfortunately, Lewis is a better driver and is in a better car. And DRS passed him. But then Sainz went wide. Lap 10 on the grass, Max passes.
Yeah.
Just shows he's got a mistake in him, like we've already touched on.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
I was going to say, Max was a lot quicker anyway, but as we've just said, Sainz has got a mistake in him and he made it easy for him, didn't he? But going back to Leclerc and Perez, Leclerc had damage. He was still really, really fast. So do you think did Perez have more damage on his front wing? Or could they get away with it?
It was more visible, wasn't it? Because it was hanging off the side.
Oh, was it? Right.
With Perez, which is why they boxed, because they thought, what did they do? FIA with Tsunoda a few
black and orange
ago.
flag.
That was it, yeah. So Sky was saying, he might have to come in anyway.
Right.
And lo and behold, he did come in, didn't he? 5-6 laps in?
Yeah.
Got to give it to these Red Bull engineers, strategists. They're quick. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, it played out in his favour, didn't it?
But unfortunately, no strategist or engineer can help Max Verstappen in lap 12 because God himself, Jesus Christ, blessed us with a problem.
Big puncher.
Whoa, what is it? What is it? Is it a puncher? Is it a puncher? Is it the car? Is it the engine? Did
you hear the crowd? The crowd went.
Fucking
I've never heard so much shit He was cheering more than if Hamilton had just got his 9th bloody world championship.
Well, did you hear Horner all weekend? Because they were getting booed, weren't they? Every time there was on the telly, and even like Max on his being introduced to the crowd, there was all booing him. And Horner was like, I don't know why. I thought, really? You don't know why? Like, shut up, dickhead.
Turn 5. Supposedly it happened on turn 5, and it was part of an alpha that got stuck and completely wrecked the left side, underside of the car.
Did you see the picture I sent you earlier?
Yeah. It was massive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because there was like, it's just a small bit of debris, and then they showed it was all over social media today, and I put it on our Facebook page, and it's like the size of a shoebox.
Yeah. But how was it got wet? I mean, they thought it was on the telemetry. They thought it could have been a puncture. I mean, when they jacked the car up to change the tyres, no one even had to look underneath, did they?
No. But he even said, he said, you need to check my tyres. If it's not the tyres, it's the car.
Yeah.
I was like, there's nothing wrong with it.
They must have changed them tyres, gone out another lap and gone, shit, it's not the tyres.
Yeah.
We're buggered.
Yeah. Well, because he come out on the hards, didn't he? And he went, you've made it even worse to drive. And I was like, yeah, you've got to live with it, Max. Sorry.
I didn't enjoy that. I really did. When he started shouting at his own radio team again.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It was funny. It was great. It was just fantastic. The race then properly started for me. I was like, yes, fucking get in there. Then Sainz pitted for hards. Max pitted again for hards. And
before that, though, Leclerc nearly spat his dummy out, didn't he, on the radio at Sainz? I'm faster than him. Let me pass. Sainz was being given target after target to hit. Leclerc was fuming at them. That's not enough. Hamilton's going to catch us. Ferrari, for me, did the easiest thing, which was to avoid any conflict. We'll just pit one of them. Then we don't look evil.
Yeah. We've said it before. Leclerc is the leader of that team. And Sainz wasn't quick enough. Leclerc had a damaged car and he was keeping up with him. And they did play team orders later on in the race, but they dicked about too much, didn't they?
They did, yeah. They tried to throw it.
With that though, I know Leclerc was keeping up with Sainz with the damaged car and stuff like that. So they're like, all right, if you're faster, then go by. And then he didn't really do anything. Now, for me, if you're saying you're faster, you've got to let me go by. After that, you've got to prove that to the rest of your team, you've done that for me. You've let me go by. Now I've got to show you I can pull 3 seconds away.
Yeah.
And he didn't. No. So after that, you're like, right, so clearly the only reason he was keeping up with Sainz is because you had that DRS tow. That was it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm just glad in the end that Ferrari just went, you two are just free to race.
Yeah.
Love that. That kind of like, shut up and just get on with it. And if you are better than him, show it.
I think that's opening a door to loads of problems though at Ferrari. I think if them two are as fast as they can be and Leclerc doesn't run away with it in the future, I think Ferrari don't have the cojones to make decisions like that. Whereas, let's be honest, Perez knows that he's just going to have to step to a side every time Max is there. Russell, don't know. We've not seen it yet, and they've not been in a winning position to really say that yet. But I think Perez knows he's number 2, and he just accepts it on the side. Whereas Sainz, we saw a different side to Sainz, didn't we, in the back end of that race?
Oh, massively. Like the safety car, all that. Like, can you back off and give him breathing space? And Sainz was like, no, I can't. Like, stop playing stupid games. And he said, he knew Ferrari, like you've just said, Adam, we're trying to do him over. And he was like, do you know what? No, not a chance.
His dad must have been fuming in that garage, just thinking, what are you trying to do here?
Yeah. He's never won a race, and you're literally trying to, fix it and take it away from him. And
he even said that as well, though, didn't he? He actually said, don't take this away from me.
Yeah, exactly.
He knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah. So,
well, you'll have to tune in to the second part of this podcast for my opinion.
What, so we can talk about the other 51 laps?
And that as well, if you really want. Yeah, no, we're on fucking lap 20, guys. What the fuck?
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there. More to come.
See you soon.
See you in a bit.
Go for it.
This meeting is being recorded.
Yo, welcome back to part 2 of episode 11, Straight to the Apex.
I think so, didn't you?
It was a 1-2. It took him a while.
1, 2.
I always give a gap to let Andy from CookieCast, who does all our producing and editing and whatnot, just so he can cut out the Jane or whatever the woman's name's called, going whatever she says, whatever she's going on about.
This meeting is being recorded.
That's what she says. Yeah. If anything, I'm being professional and waiting for. Anyway, you fucked it anyway now because you just sort of started spouting a load of shit before me. Anyway, what was I saying? Also, so Sainz and Leclerc were getting in a bit of a muddle, and it was just typical Ferrari circus. One's a juggler, the other's a clown, and it's just pathetic to watch now. It's really frustrating to watch because you really want them to do well, but they never actually do really well, which is what they could. They could be amazing, but in this situation, yeah, Leclerc was faster, but they gave Sainz a chance, and they said, "Look, if you can do a 1:32.9, you're all right. Keep going." Should they have just made the decision? I don't know. Was how they handled it the best way they could? The most, I don't know, what's the word? Fairest? I don't know, but the messing around nearly gave Hamilton a stronger foothold in the race when they both pitted and Hamilton took the lead, and it was like, whoa, what's going on here? Just to move away from that Ferrari, like Hamilton's in the lead, first time since Abu Dhabi at Silverstone. Yeah, and you just had to kind of blink twice and go, am I really seeing this? Like, wow. I don't know what your thoughts were.
Don't you think Max screwed it up though and left him out too long and then had such a slow pit stop? Because if they had a proper pit stop, and obviously there's that graphic, isn't there, where Hamilton will come out and everything, and at one point he'd have come out in front of them and they just waited that lap or two too long, and then they fucked it up by having a 4-second pit stop or whatever it was.
If they'd have took the undercut, it'd have worked out perfectly. It really would have done. But as soon as the Ferrari started going in, it was then a case of, right, well, it's, we've got to quote Bono here, and, it's hammer time, mate. You've really got to push it. You've got about 2 or 3 laps. Push it hard.
That's
Get
exactly
that gap up. I think you need 19 seconds you need to come out clear. And he was around 18.5.
Yeah.
He's like, just keep pushing, you used to hear Bono say it every week, right, Lewis, it's hammer time, get on it. And he'd do it. And, did Bono say it? I don't know, but
it was a turning point.
Lewis said, I can't keep this pace up forever.
It's hard to tell with Lewis, though, because Lewis is really good at using the radio to his, as his own tool.
Yeah.
He'll make these comments, but he don't always mean them.
No,
because he knows that everyone else is listening to him. So he'll be like, oh yeah, and you can almost pick it out in his tone. If you've heard him say it enough, he'll do like a little sigh before when he's bullshitting. And you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to last on these tires. And you're like, yeah, he's got another 10.
Yeah.
Shall I tell you who's learning from him as well? George Russell. Have you heard him on the radio recently?
No.
So-and-so's driving erratically in front of me. Just trying to goat a penalty out of someone. Goat a penalty. But for me, the worst.
Yeah, he's getting good at using it, but he's definitely using his word of the day, toilet paper, as well.
Yeah.
Everyone else would just be like, he's driving like a twat. He's like, oh, he's driving erratically. This individual is being irresponsible on the track.
Yeah. Let's flag off our good Samaritan George for stopping the car.
But he said on the radio, he was out on the radio before he actually stepped out that car. So I think his car was buggered. He was just trying it on.
I do.
Yeah.
I think they were going to try and repair it because they had 45 minutes, but I think it was more than the puncher that led to everyone to believe, don't you?
Yeah, there's no way.
I think you're right.
Stood in the pits like, fuck off, mate. You've got out your car and your car's fucked, mate. So just fucking.
There's no way.
Go back and have a cup of tea and sit back in the fucking garage, you silly cunt.
It's like it imagined what he said. His story. Imagine when you got to pay for your parking and you go somewhere, and then there's that story that you come out and there's someone towing your car away. That's what he made it out like. He'd gone to the pits, and then on the way back, all of a sudden, someone was towing his car away, and he couldn't. It's not my fault anymore. I tried my best.
Oh, my watch was wrong. Sorry, mate.
The photo, I've got a chance.
Yeah, I was only gone for 5 minutes. I just needed to do this.
Yeah.
Please let me fix my car.
Yeah. It'd have been interesting to see what he'd have done, like we said, if you didn't get caught up in it all at the beginning. Like, would he come through from 8th? Mm-hmm. I mean, the mate looked quick. Lewis was catching, the Ferraris. But what we said this in previous weeks, Hamilton at Silverstone, with that crowd behind him, just has something else. Like
I said it last week, that Nigel Mansell always said that at Silverstone he was half a second faster. He said when you've got your home crowd behind you, it takes half a second. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
We know that Hamilton shows it every bloody year.
Well, even Sainz at the end said Hamilton was on it. He said it was absolutely on it.
If granted there was get him in. When Ocon broke down later on, get him in. Let's get some fresh tyres on. But yeah, if they'd have stuck with a medium compound rather than going on soft, probably could have had it.
That was the turning point.
But
why did he come in? Why did he come in and change to hard? Why didn't he just stick it out a little bit longer and then go soft?
I thought that. I
think his tyres were gone. I think that graphic was getting. He come out of the pits 4 seconds behind, and I think if he'd have stayed out on their mediums a bit longer, it'd have been 6, 7.
There was traffic as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, well, that's the other thing.
There's traffic coming up. If it had left it any longer, it might have come out into traffic.
Mm.
So they were in a sticky position. I can understand.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for how the pit stop. Don't know why that happened. No. Why it was slow.
But when Ocon obviously broke down and the safety car come out, Ferrari bottled it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because they didn't bring Leclerc in because they reckon they didn't have enough time. But they had like 12 seconds from that safety car coming out to Leclerc getting to the pit entry. And then they brought Sainz in.
It's got to be because how wrong it went in Monaco.
Yeah, yes. Double stacking, definitely.
Ted Gravitz, Ted Talk, he nailed it on the head. Absolutely. He said exactly this. He said, the debrief from Monte Carlo, this cannot happen again. And I think this was a situation where it could have happened again. This double stack, come in, don't come in, don't come in. It's all gone wrong. They didn't want to risk it. Well, it cost somebody their race, didn't it, really?
But without the safety car, do you think Hamilton would have run the race? Because I do.
Yeah. The pace he had on them mediums and the way he was driving was something else. And I was sitting there. He was really pushing them, and he was getting there. And then when you saw Ocon starting to slow down, my heart sank. And it's the first time my heart sank this year for Hamilton. Because you're actually sitting there thinking, it's going to happen. I don't even care that my predictions are absolutely fucking dire this week now because Hamilton is going to win.
Yeah.
And then Ocon starts slowing down. I'm like, oh, you're going to stop on the track. And I'm like,
yeah.
It'll happen, and it's going to be a safety car. And then it's right on the grid. I was like, oh, fuck. But then I was like, there's only 12 laps. We could go soft and just absolutely obliterate them. And then as soon as I went in, they went on to softs. I was like, yes, he's gone on soft. But I was like, Mercedes aren't great on softs this year.
No.
It takes them ages to heat them up. And you saw that in the restart.
with Perez
right behind him.
Yeah.
And obviously Perez was on softs as well. And then as soon as that safety car was gone, Perez just
fucking Tom and Jerry shit. Like, wow.
Yeah.
That fucking Red Bull.
It was full on road runner kind of beep, beep thing, wasn't it? But
it was some great bloody racing though, like Leclerc, Hamilton, Perez. I mean, Hamilton made a really good point. Him and Leclerc in the same corner that Max and Hamilton hit last year. Them two got through without hitting each other. You know, I mean, when Leclerc and Perez went wide and Hamilton got them, and you heard the crowd roar.
Wow.
You thought, wow. And then like Perez and obviously Leclerc come back, and you thought, this is going to go on and on and on. And then Perez just played off, didn't he? Absolutely played off.
Most exciting racing I've seen in a while. Like that. I mean, maybe that's what we should do now. Just have get to about the last 15 laps, somebody kills it, and we all just pit for sauce, bunch up.
Someone I know said something similar. Someone I know said something similar. Put a second restart or have 2 sprints.
Yeah,
to make it more interesting in the future. Yeah. But
well, I thought that's why Lance Stroll drove, because normally he crashes midway through the race.
So I mean, these second-rate F1 drivers, this is where they can shine. Fucking Sebastian Ocon, sorry, no, Esteban Ocon. This is where.
Fair play to Perez. 16th to second, kind of went under the radar, didn't he? All race, everything must have fallen right for him, but he did a job.
You didn't see anything of either Red Bull.
No.
I mean, I realised halfway through, I'm sat there watching it, and all of a sudden I was like, I haven't thought about Verstappen once. And I had to actually look on the left-hand side of the screen to try and figure out why. I was like, oh shit, he hasn't actually got anywhere. No. And Perez was the same. But obviously, once Perez got that damage fixed, that was it. He soon caught it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for Mick Schumacher getting his first points as well, finally.
Mm-hmm. Fighting at the end with Max.
Yeah. And I was going to say, he almost got more points than Max.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
That was quality. Absolutely quality. So many talking points in this race. It's just.
That was some dirty driving from Max there.
Was hanging on.
Yeah.
You sound surprised.
Yeah, I know. It just goes to show, like you say, Hamilton, Leclerc, same corner, worked out fine. Max against anyone else for 7th, and he's still having a scrap trying to knock someone out the track.
Yeah.
That's the
exactly. Yeah.
But I suppose you could say that about really Red Bull got away with quite. I know we always kind of sound a bit biased by saying, "Oh, Red Bull got away with stuff," but we all saw it. You just said yourself, Adam. Max, he does get a bit aggressive with his defense and stuff like that and everything. But even Perez, I mean, that second restart and there was all pushing and shoving and everything else like that. There was a couple of times where Perez maybe should have left a bit more room, or you could probably turn around and say he forced people off the track a bit, but. Yeah,
I feel sorry for Alonso. Got a 5-second penalty last week or 2 weeks ago for moving twice or defending twice the same position. Whereas you saw so much at the weekend, it seemed to be anything goes at the weekend.
Yeah.
Whereas poor old Alonso lost 3 or 4 places, did he? Off the 5 seconds at the end of Toronto. So I think he came on the radio or said something at the end like, "Well, are we not playing the rules this week?"
Yeah. Yeah,
I do like Alonso for that.
We've got that guy.
Don't get me wrong. We've said it in the past. He bitches and moans all the time. I need more power. I need this. It sounds like Jeremy Clarkson when he's getting a bit agitated and stuff like that. But he's a cracking defensive driver.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as I found out Max was going to be stuck behind him, I thought, well, that's going to hold him up for a while because Alonso can literally make his car 2, maybe 3 times wider than it actually is.
Yeah.
It's incredible what he can do in a car. No one likes to be stuck behind him.
No. Have you? Have we said the final order turn? What was the final order of the race?
The final order was Sainz, Perez, Hamilton 3rd, Leclerc 4th, Alonso 5th, Norris 6th, 7th Max, 8th Mick, 9th Vettel, 10th K-Mag, 11th Stroll, 12th Latifi. What a guy. 13th Ricciardo. Dropped 3 points. Dropped out the points. 14th Yuki. And then you've got your DNFs. Ocon, Gasly, Bottas, Russell, Joe, and Albon. Ocon, battery power. And it was fuel pump failure in the race. Bottas was a gearbox issue. Russell, because he was a good Samaritan. Gasly, I don't know why Gasly DNF'd, can't remember.
Well, he had the obviously collision at the beginning.
It was,
and then Tsunoda took him out because they both spun together, didn't they?
Did a nice little pirouette, didn't they?
Yeah, I think his car was absolutely battered.
I'm trying to remember. I think he got the black and orange flag, didn't he? Gasly.
Yes, yeah, he did.
And then you saw him still sitting there. I was like, why aren't he doing anything? And at first I thought he got a penalty, but then it was just like, yeah, no. Cart went under the car, and that was it. It was pushed in.
On the weekend, he signed a new deal with AlphaTauri, so he's staying in 2023.
Gasly.
Yeah, Gasly, yeah.
Well done, mate. Well done. We'll see you in a Red Bull soon.
No, we won't.
Yeah. No, we won't.
No, he's been there.
I don't even think he'd want to go back there.
No, not with Max. No chance.
What if Max moves on?
The way it was treating that, nah.
Yeah. Where would Max go?
Yeah,
that's another conversation for another day, guys. I think
maybe it'd be Seb Ocon's teammate here. So
you see the news today that Porsche have signed a deal with Red Bull, 2024 or 5. I can't remember. It's one of them. Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
So Christian Horner will be driving a Porsche soon, then.
Pretty much, yeah.
Unless Max goes to Audi when they enter Volkswagen, start signing.
He won't go anywhere because no one will put up with his shit on the radio, like we've said in previous podcasts.
Yeah. Okay.
He's for life.
Right then, a few last.
I think the only reason he'd be there for life is because, like we said, no one else will take him because they know what he can be like. I think if he's going to go to another team, it's going to be a new team that come in.
Yeah.
For the dough, for the money, for the moolah, for the fucking cash money. Yeah, man. Sainz made him win. Is he the second driver at Ferrari?
Yeah, I think that was nailed on this weekend. They didn't want him to win. Yes.
Yeah. Give him some breathing room. Fuck off.
I know. I mean, I know Ferrari. We said Ferrari fucked up not bringing Leclerc in, but like I say, that was more that they were scared. But yeah, give him some breathing room. Back off him. You can go 10 cars behind him. You know they were doing all that they can, and even Leclerc said, didn't he, on the radio? I'm in the championship. Like, let me by. It's still too early. You're both in the championship.
Well, I mean, exactly. Let me just read this out. Max is first with 181. Perez, 147. Leclerc, 138. So he's fucking miles behind. Sainz, 127. That's, if my maths is correct, 9.
Yeah.
Russell, 5th, 111. So the Red Bulls are going really.
I mean, Perez going up to second, like say Max and Perez first and second, but they break down, don't they? We know this. We've said it how many times. Yeah. There's not that many points in it, and it can swing quite easily.
I don't know. I think Max is ahead now. I think he's got that breathing space.
He's got that much of a gap. It's going to be hard to beat. It's not out of reach, but
Are we quickly talking about predictions for the race? I know James really wants to touch on any.
Well, I've got a few quotes left just before we carry on a couple of talking points. Hamilton's back in the fight and he's grateful that he's back in the fight.
Okay.
I think maybe him being the only Merc racing today might have done him a little favour, to be honest. I think it would have done the whole. They could have just concentrated on him, but it's never good losing. one car in a home race, is it? So
no.
Leclerc was obviously angry. Big disappointment. Norris, we haven't spoke about him. Wrong call on the pit stop, but apart from that, he was quite happy. Mick, great for the team, finishing 8th. Latifi, quote, first time properly been racing.
Well, yeah, he's normally following at the back, isn't
he? Yeah.
What's this? 10th racing?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Horner, quote, considering the day, not too bad. And hopefully we'll get a warmer we'll get a warmer reception in Austria.
Well, yeah, it's Red Bull Ring, of course they will.
And I thought Mercedes merchandise team deserve a raise because whoever thought of putting the caps fluorescent, wow. There was fucking loads. And as soon as it cut to the crowd, you just saw them first out of everything. Even over the MacLeod.
Instead of a massive orange.
It was just bing, that bright fluorescent yellow.
He's got Valentino Rossi on his numbers, hasn't he, this year? He's got, his helmet's fluorescent, his numbers are fluorescent. I don't know if he's doing it because Rossi's retired from bikes, but it's like you say, the match proper stood out in the crowd, didn't it, this year?
I really like it.
I do.
I keep looking at the tops and I'm like...
Have you seen the T-shirt they've brought out? The team T-shirt that's the yellow one. That is their safety one. I quite like that as well.
That's bright. Bright.
Don't want them black bugs getting you on them days, but it's nice.
I've got that. I've decided to get the hat straight off.
Have you?
Yeah. So hopefully, fingers crossed, next podcast,
we could have said, we could have put a joint order in. I'd have got it as well.
No.
So selfish. So selfish. I bought you a mug, and that's the thanks we get, James.
Adam, is he like this at Christmas as well? He'll get himself a little Christmas box, but screw you over, or...
Yeah, of course he is.
Right, are we going to do predictions then?
I think we'll spend 2 seconds on it, yeah.
All right, so
predictions. James, you went with...
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go for it, buddy.
James had Max, Hamilton, Russell. You scored 0 points, so that means you have 18 points still.
Yep.
I had Max, Leclerc, Hamilton. So I've got 1 point and I'm on 17. And Mark went with exactly the same. He got 1 point and he's now got 18. So it's now 1 point in it after 10 races. James 18, Mark 18, me 17. Wouldn't it be funny if it finished like that?
No.
No.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, no, it would. Yeah, we get to watch you do a shoey.
We was only predicting the first 10 races, weren't we? And then we were stopping, isn't that right?
Yeah. Actually, do you think we should do a mid-season kind of forfeit? Like when it comes to the summer break, we should do a little mini forfeit there.
No,
for sure.
Off the last and we're 10 races in, and there's 2 or 3 races to go, and I'm 1 point behind. Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea.
I'm not being funny, but look how close that gap's closed up in the last 2 races. I mean, I had a good 4 or 5 point lead. No, I don't.
Somebody could have a stinker. There's still time for somebody to have a right stinker.
Oh, massive.
So yeah. Anyway, moving on. What should we have next?
Dunno.
You're driving.
Yeah. What you got planned?
Is there anything else to talk about with the race?
All I've got is Seb Vettel driving Nigel Mansell's old Williams, which he's bought, which I didn't realise. Seb has gone out and bought it, and he was running it on environmentally friendly synthetic fuel.
Nice.
So, considering the protesters picked this race to protest about fuel, they're protesting at a race that's got the most efficient engines, and also Seb Vettel's bringing a car that's got environmentally friendly fuel. So maybe they need to do a bit of research before they decide to sit on the track, the idiots.
Thank God they did it when they did it and not in the race, because holy shit.
Well,
that could have been bad.
I think that would have been really bad.
I can't even imagine, to be honest.
Gary Lineker, do you see Gary Lineker's tweet that he reckoned that there was more risk of death with climate change than 5 protesters sat in the middle of a straight during a Grand Prix?
What?
Yeah. Because he don't get a private jet everywhere, does he? You know, tosser.
What a dickhead.
But if they'd have sat on that straight and the cars had come around that first corner, there'd have either been a massive crash because all the drivers speed off. They'd have collected them kids sat on the straight because you can't see the ground. Obviously, you're in the car and the view's not very good. Or there'd have been a marshal that was dragging him off. I think it'd have been absolutely carnage.
Yeah.
So there was lucky, really, that there was that crash on the first lap. Not for Zhou Guan Yu, but for everyone else.
True. Very true. Very true.
I get it. You know, we've all got to do our bit for climate change and everything else, and you know, we've got to do what we can to help out and stuff like that. But putting lives at danger, nah, that's just being a dick.
Yeah.
Is my honest thought. And you know, I know I'm probably going to upset a few people saying it, but don't be a dick.
No.
Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. Don't be a dick.
And in fairness, these are the same people that are eating avocados thinking, oh, I'm being great, but they've completely forgot about the whole importation of avocados.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Smuggled avocados.
So what you got next, T-Dog?
Should we have a quiz? Is it quiz time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go for quiz time. Yeah.
Okay, baby. Right. So this week, it's a bit special, obviously. We've got a special guest, Adam. Mm-hmm. And he's going to be the quiz master.
Yep.
Okay.
So he's got some questions. It's us three against each other. There is a prize.
Oh.
There is a prize.
Oh. Okay. Is it the yellow hat that you bought?
Prize is?
No, it's fucking definitely not that, you motherfucker.
What was that?
Is it the yellow hat that he's bought, the Hamilton one?
Yeah. Should be.
Should be, yeah.
Adam, I'll just warn you, if things don't go Tony's way, he will say that it's some kind of controversial thing here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
How well does he know his F1 stuff? So
well, you know out of 10, probably about 2.
Very well.
It's his own fault, isn't it? Not exactly. Doing research.
Right, I'm ready. Let's go.
Are you ready, guys?
Yeah.
So 10 questions. Some of them are multiple choice where you'll all answer, and it's just you all pick A, B, C, D. Some of them are first to the just shout out the answer basically, and I'll pick up on the mic who says it. So the first question is just quick fire basically.
Yeah.
So are we shouting names or answer then?
Shout the names. Answer.
We'll shout names.
We should shout.
Yeah. Shout names.
Shout names.
Yeah.
And then you decide on. Because
and then when
Michael will just fucking shout the answer, and he'll be like, I said it first.
Right, so go for your name, and if everyone's at one, I'll pick which one comes through first. So,
okay.
First question. What is the longest track on this season's race calendar? And I'm talking distance of 1 lap.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Mark.
Yep.
Spa.
You're saying Spa?
Yeah.
That's the correct answer. Yeah. I guess there's no extra points, but how long do you think it is?
Can anybody answer this question?
It's a guess, this one isn't a question, but
yeah. No, 6.2. 6.2k.
It's 7 kilometers.
Oh,
so that's one
close.
for Mark. One for Mark, anyway. Right, so next one, quick fire again. How many points did George Russell score on his Mercedes debut?
Tony.
Yep.
Was it 8 points?
No.
James.
James?
17.
Nope.
Oh, fucking hell, James, you stupid bastard!
Mark, it's up to you to Google the answer quickly.
Oh, God. I can't remember how many points you get now. I think he was...
That's what I was trying to think.
So the race was 2020 Sakir Grand Prix.
Because I think he was fair.
Oh.
And he didn't fit in his seat, if it helps you.
Yeah, he didn't fit in his seat. I mean, that won't help me with the points, Adam. Thanks.
But maybe
Go on,
I'll
Mark.
remember.
Say it, Mark. Go on, Mark.
He got the wrong tyres put on.
He did, yeah.
Bollocks. I was thinking this season when we were saying debut, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, no. Is it? I don't know. Is it 20?
20 points, you're saying?
Yeah.
Wrong. It was 3 points. He finished 9th, but he got the fastest lap. And the main reason was he got put Bottas's tyres on, so he had to go back in and double back.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So the next one is it's multiple choice. So everyone basically gets one option and points go to whoever gets it right. So out of the following, who has scored the most points in their F1 career? So this is a current driver and an ex-driver. So we've got Nicholas Latifi as A, Nikita Mazepin as B, Mick Schumacher as C, and D is Zhou Guanyu. So Latifi, Mazepin, Schumacher, and Zhou Guanyu. Who's scored the most points in their career so far?
A good question. You could flip that on its head and go, who's the shittest driver out of these?
That's why I'm saying it's not the type you expect, is it, to answer a question on?
No. I'm torn between two. I'm going to guess it's Zhou Guanyu.
Zhou Guanyu. James?
I'm torn between two. I was going to go with that, but I'm going to go Mazepin.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Tony, are we going with?
I'm trying to think. Just give me. I don't think it's what.
5 seconds. Type your time on Fred, mate.
I'll go Mazepin.
Mazepin. You ready? So, starting at the bottom, Nikita Mazepin never scored a point in F1. Mick Schumacher scored 4 points. Came at weekend, I believe. Zhou Guanyu, 5 points. And the GOAT himself, Nicholas Latifi, 7 points.
No way. Oh, wow.
I think he got 6 points in Hungary. Remember when they didn't even do the race?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't think Latifi at first, but then I was like, no, don't be stupid, James.
Yeah.
it's going to be Zhou Guanyu or Mazepin.
There was no winners there. So
God.
One, quick fire one again.
Sorry, Nick. I'm so sorry, Nicholas. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'll never make that mistake again and underestimate you.
Jenson Button won the 2001 Formula One Championship driver for which team?
Mark.
Tony.
Yep, Mark.
Braun.
Yeah, it was.
Bastard.
So another quick fire. How many red lights are there at the start of the race that go off to signal the start, basically?
James.
Tony.
James, it was.
It's 5.
It is 5, yeah.
Well done.
So, who said this famous quote in 2019 in a race? I am stupid. I am stupid.
Mark. Leclerc.
Yep. And where was it? Not for a bonus point, just out of interest. Can you remember?
Oh, no, I can't remember.
It was in Baku when he went round the castle and hit the other side at the time.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I am stupid. So, which track has the fewest corners on the season? So, the fewest corners.
Mark.
Tony.
Mark.
Is it Monza?
It's not Monza, Tony.
Is it Austria?
It is Austria, yeah.
got a fucking point! Get in!
Monza was second, but Red Bull won it. I think it was something like 10 and 11.
Right. Oh,
Get in!
Look how happy he is.
I remember I fucking looked at the track for this prep, and I looked at the track and I thought, that's small as fuck.
Right. Another multiple choice one this time, so you can all have a guess. Who has the most F1 podiums in the career? Is it A, Kimi Räikkönen, B, David Coulthard, C, Mark Webber, or D, Rubens Barrichello?
Oh.
So Kimi Räikkönen, David Coulthard, Mark Webber, or Rubens Barrichello?
I'm going to say Kimi.
You say Kimi. James?
Who was your three again?
Räikkönen, Coulthard, Webber, Barrichello.
Barrichello.
Tony?
Oh, fuck, you've both picked the ones that I'm fucking...
You can still pick.
That you've heard of.
Yeah, you can still pick.
No, because I'm
10
sure
seconds,
Barrichello was a good driver.
5,
but then Kim has been going on for ages.
3, 2,
Kimi.
Right. So, Mark Webber was last with 42 podiums. Second was David Coulthard with 62 podiums. Third was Rubens Barrichello with 68 podiums. And at the top was Kimi with 103 podiums in his career. So that's both the point for Mark and Tony. So, one more, which is another quote. Who said the famous quote, "If you no longer go for a gap which exists, you are no longer a racing driver"?
Tony.
Yep. It's a famous interview.
Lewis Hamilton.
No.
Mark.
Oh.
James.
Mark, sorry, it was just you.
Is it Ayrton Senna?
It is Ayrton Senna.
You can't keep saying that. Fucking ban that cunt now. You can't keep saying Senna.
One last one really quick.
Right.
How many laps did Mark complete at Team Sport Karting in Leeds? Real quick.
Oh.
Tony, 16.
16, no, James.
15.
15, Mark.
14.
Not enough.
The answer was 29.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we had them both together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But the overall winner
I
is
was
Mark
thinking of
with
the last
4.
time.
Mark
I won.
with 4.
Yes. Well, should we take a quick break there, and then we'll do predictions in the next
Find out what
bit?
the prize is.
Yeah, and I want to find out what the prize is. Probably won't get one now because I won. But
What's this mayo?
Right, we'll talk about it in a sec.
We changed the name to Heinz, not Heinz.
This meeting is being recorded.
So, welcome back, part 3 of Straight to the Apex F1 podcast. Mark just won the quiz. Adam, what is the prize?
So, first of all, to summarise the scores, Mark won with 4 points. Second place was Tony with 2 points. James got 1 point. So, prize.
Still got the shoe back in James, don't worry.
Prize, which we currently can't find, but does exist, I promise you. It's a cup, which is about no bigger than my hand, which is the smallest cup size ever, which we're going to be using for future quizzes. And we're going to pass it around like a baton, I guess. But it will be yours, Mark. And we will give it to its rightful owner. We just have to find it, if I'm honest with you. It is in existence. It's just no one knows where it is.
To be honest, it won't be getting passed around.
But when you say it's a cup and it's the size of your hand and no one can find it,
It's the smallest.
is it the actual Holy Grail?
Well, me and Anthony knew about this because it was just this shitty little thing which was on top of, I don't know, the living room
little thing.
Yeah, made of that plastic which tries to be gold, which is clearly not gold because it's the worst. It would probably turn green if in the right light, put it like that.
But yeah,
once we find it, you are the rightful owner of it, Mark, for 1 week.
Thank you.
We'll find it.
Well, Adam, it'll be longer than 1 week.
1 week?
Yeah.
We've got to find it first, haven't we?
Yeah.
It is somewhere.
Might find it. Maybe. Might not find it.
Yeah, if he'd have won, he'd have found it already, wouldn't he? But now,
he'd have been around the house looking for it, yeah. Right now. he'd have stopped this and gone to the house again.
I'm more embarrassed for you, James, that he beat you. Are you
what did he?
Are you all right?
I just explained to you, Mark. For some stupid reason, my mind just went absolutely skits. And for some reason, whatever answer Mark picked, even though I knew for a fact that's probably it, for some reason I was like, well, I can't pick that now. So when he said Kimi Räikkönen, I was like, right, well, I can only pick the other three for some reason. Even though in the back of my head, I'm like, well, Kimi Räikkönen drove for 20-odd years.
It's got to be. Yeah, that was the one as well. That was the one he got the point on, yeah. The other one he did answer pretty well, which was Red Bull Ring in Austria, which was a good answer to its own merit. James got the number of lights at the start right.
Yeah.
And was narrowly pipped with his answers. I don't know whether he had the right answers, but when he was fast questions, Mark beat him to a couple of the call-outs.
It could have swung, but it could have swung the other way. It's all about. But look how smirky he is in the top of Master.
Give him second.
It's you, man. So gracious in winning. Such a modest champion that you are.
It's coming from the guy who's got an Ayrton Senna cap, an Ayrton Senna book, and can't answer a single question about Ayrton Senna in any quiz.
And he only got the track one and the corners one right because we bought him a book for his birthday, and he read it before he come on.
And it's next week.
Yeah, and the only reason he got that right and read that book is because it had pretty little pictures. The Senna one's just words, so you don't understand it.
Careful what you say, Mark, because I know where you live. I'll get a fucking drone in that field behind you, and you'll fucking hell. I'll fucking light a firework at fucking 1 o'clock in the morning in your garden. You won't know what's going on.
Yeah, but you'll send it to the wrong address.
Don't laugh, Adam. I'll call mum and dad and they'll fucking come in your room like Homeland Security.
I'm going to tell mum and dad.
Turn off the internet.
Pathetic, isn't he? Pathetic. Look at him.
I'm still surprised Grandma hasn't come through the door and started cooking on your freaking DJ deck.
It's a matter of time.
No, anyway.
Austria.
Red Bull Ring.
Yeah.
71 laps. Red Bull home advantage.
It's like a go-kart track. It's Red Bull always do well there, don't they?
Yeah.
Max won it last year. Bottas second, Norris third. Hamilton fourth. Sainz fifth. So 71 laps. Wow.
Short laps, though. Very short laps.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4.3K.
Yeah.
Should be interesting. I wonder what the reception Lewis will get.
Probably booed.
You'd like to think if he gets booed, though, that Max will reciprocate what Lewis did for him and just say, look, don't do that.
I don't think so.
I know it won't happen. I said, you'd like to think.
You'd like to think, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So, Tony, are you going first with your predictions, or do you want to let the guest have predictions this week as well?
I'll go first. I'll own it from the start.
Because he lost.
I think Max is going to win.
Okay.
And then I think there's two drivers here that I've got in my mind. It gets fucking serious at this point, by the way, everybody. That's why you can just hear silence. Like, there's a lot riding on this.
There is now. Now it's so close.
There is now. Stop bigging it up, Mark. This is just for fun. Don't worry.
Not fun. I don't want to do a shoey. This is not for fun.
There's no fun in this. This is serious.
I'm going to go Perez second, Leclerc third.
Okay.
Quiz winner goes next.
So I've also got Max to win.
Oh, surprise. Copying off me again. Bastard.
But I've got the same drivers as Tony, but in the
prick.
order. So I've got Leclerc second and Perez third.
I hope that Ferrari circus is on full fucking tilt next week. Like full fucking clown juggler and fucking.
Well, you didn't take it serious, mate. What's with all this hostility?
Oh no, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, chilled out, right? Okay. James,
I've got Max to win.
Surprising.
It's going to be. Let's face it. He's not going to have half an F1 car wedged underneath the floor of his car every week, is he? Unfortunately.
No, unfortunately not.
I've got Hamilton second.
Ooh.
And I almost put Perez third, but I'm going with Leclerc third.
Interesting.
I don't know that Mercedes over the weekend. I think they might have done it.
I don't think Austria is a good track for him.
What does the quizmaster think?
I don't know if we've seen enough of the match yet to say they can do this every week. But Max is going to win. I think that's like the obvious one, isn't it? Like James said, he had something stuck under his car or a hole in his car, and he still got seventh. So Max is going to win.
Yeah.
Second, I think is going to be Leclerc. I think that's a decent shout. On the right strategy, number one man for Ferrari. They'll have him pitched behind Max, probably 15 seconds. Third, that's where I think you're talking a bit of a lottery. You're going to have a few retirements. I'm going to go with my heart and say Hamilton a little bit too much. But anyone could have that third place. Anyone out of the top three teams could have that third place. So it could be Perez, it could be Sainz. It could even be
That's it. And you got Mr. Consistent, and he's always going to be top five. You'd like to think so.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a total wild card. It could be Norris. It could be, like you say, it could be anybody.
Latifi.
Well, hey, he's on the up, isn't he? It was 10th.
That's what I mean. He got into Q3 last week. That's it now.
Pole position.
World Championship.
Pole position in a few weeks.
The best bit was on the radio where he said to his engineers he's had a good race.
It's the fact that didn't they take a team photo? Oh no, that was Schumacher, wasn't it?
No.
It was Schumacher that took a team photo. But, yeah, I mean, if Latifi they took one, that'd have just been it, wouldn't it? If Latifi was having
Oh, bloke. It's time.
Interesting. I'm looking at the. There are 4 different predictions.
Very interesting.
Very, very interesting.
And we don't have to wait long. It's only a week. It's this week.
Only a week. And it's on.
Sprint race as well, isn't it, guys? I'm sure it's a sprint.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, so it'll be Friday qualifying, Saturday sprint race, Sunday race. Oh, interesting.
Interesting. So, anything else to add, guys?
Well, on that note, I think the sprint race will, with it being such a small track, this will be a massive test for the cars following, won't it? Massive. Yeah. I didn't realise it was a sprint race.
It's a little bit worrying that the three of us go on this every week, and not one of us are like, yeah, it's a sprint race this week.
Yeah,
He comes down to him. He's just like, it's a sprint race. I'm like, is it?
You know, in the first couple of episodes, Tony dropped a bombshell at the end. Adam's just done that.
Yeah, wait, I really liked that.
It must be a Rawson thing. It must be a Rawson thing because Adam's come in there and he's not said much. He's contributed. He's been the quiz master and he's just fucking mic dropped it right at the end. Sprint race guy.
It was an awesome quiz that as well, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Like good.
Really like it, Adam. I mean, I would be happy you coming back to do quizzes.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, I think you should come on and do a few more with us.
Tony gets Beth to write the questions because he's stupid, and then he still gets it wrong.
What type of questions do you get off the Tony quiz then?
Well, there was a swimming pool one the other week.
What moniker? Was it a swimming moniker?
Yeah. How many lengths of the swimming pool would you have to swim to do a lap or something stupid?
Do a lap, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like 60 or something stupid like that.
Mark was thinking about fucking David Lloyd's little pool going. 15.
There's a big tennis match going on in the next few days, I've heard.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Down 2 peg or 2 just because he thinks he's known as F1. He suddenly thinks he's the greatest fucking sporting great since Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, and Nadal. And
I was going to say the first 2 you've said are not tennis players.
And you're the greatest at every sport. You're like Mo Farah mixed with Muhammad Ali, mixed with Tyson Fury, mixed with Nadal, mixed with trying to think.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady. Yeah. All I'm going to say is
David Beckham.
Tony sent me a picture of his tennis kit in the week, and he's actually got AR written on all his tennis balls. So I mean, if he don't beat me, I think he thinks he's Roger Federer. You know,
is it in permanent marker like when Andy used to write it on the shoes of his toys?
Yes.
Hell yeah. Hell.
And the R's backwards.
Yeah. I literally think he's going to turn up in all whites tomorrow. Yeah. And he's going to like run on the court to music, like, you know, entrance music, like wrestling. And there's going to be fuck all, nobody watching. Full of like
barley water and everything.
Yeah, he'll go around the edge of the court waving at this crowd, and it'll just be 4 walls because, you know, and they'll be like, yeah, Tony. And the first serve I'm going to do, I'm going to aim it at his head. Like, you know.
I'll be returning it extremely hard and fast. I think we should all do something together, though. I think we should all, like, I've kind of mentioned it already on the group chat. I think we should all do something like a run or something.
Well, I saw that you'd gone to play golf, ain't you, James?
Yeah, over the weekend.
Where did you go?
Rough.
Where did you? What, full round of golf?
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
I'm not going to tell you what I did.
Well, yeah, I mean, golf's golf.
Latifi would do that.
If you told me how he did, I still wouldn't know.
Well,
yeah, no, definitely get something sorted out, lads.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, let's end it here then. Thank you to Cookie Cats. Thank you to Andy. Thank you to everybody listening, watching. We're available on all social media platforms. Like, comment, subscribe, please. Any feedback is better. Anything to add, guys?
Thanks to Adam.
Yeah,
thanks for having me. That's true. Thank you, Adam.
Enjoyed it.
No, it was good. It was good, lads.
Good. And I'll leave you with this quote from one of my people I look up to.
I'm going to say, is it Senna? Yeah.
You've just found out about.
It's nice to have a Rawson on that knows about Formula One.
Yeah.
Mate, I've just suddenly thought, is it going to be really bad? Like, remember that episode of Friends where Joey starts reading Little Women and he gets scared because he finds out at the end? Tony's going to come on the podcast one day getting really upset going, he died.
Yeah, I've just got to the point in the book.
Love you, Tony.
It's from one of the people that I kind of look to for quotes and messages. He's sadly no longer with us, or well, he might be in Cuba.
You don't look for Senna quotes, so it's not him then, or is it?
It's not him. It's the great Tupac Shakur. And he once said, "I'm not perfect, but I'll always be real."
And on that note,
yeah.
See you later, guys.
See you in a bit, guys.
See you later, guys.
See you in a bit, guys.
See you soon.
Bye.
So there we go. What do you think of that? Another one done. What an episode. Special guest, big quiz, and all the news. Big thanks to James, Mark, Tony, and special guest Adam for coming on the podcast and doing their thing. If you want to show love to the guys, consider like, share, subscribe, and comment. Drop reviews, and if you want to get in touch with them, let them know how much you love their podcast, jump over to thecookiecast.com. You can find social media links, especially for these guys, and an email button. Drop them a line, tell them how much you love the podcast, and it's all there. That's it for this one. Till next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.